so listen, folks, it is really, really important that you're here. And now you need to take this step of coming here today and making sure you get to the polls, you get your neighbors to the polls, and you get everybody out to vote tomorrow. Robert Coles does not deserve to be fired midterm. There will be an election next year, and that's when you can decide. That's the American process. That's the right way to do things. And you guys are the line of defense. You are the line in the sand, the demarcation for Robert Coles. And so thank you for coming here today. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your words of encouragement. I've got a very difficult place in Washington, D.C., with only one half of 1/3 of government, but we're holding the line as best as we possibly can. Next election, you need to stand in line and give us another lever or two. And I will tell you, you Tea Party hobbits, you're the ones that have a chance to stand in line and change things and actually take this to the next step by giving us another lever. The President of the United States wants to blame you. You know what? I've been with the President 3 times. I'll say this and I'll close and let someone else come and talk, because you need to hear better speakers than me. If the President of the United States had gone on TV today and said to the American people, we made a mistake, we made some mistakes, and I want you to know that we're going to fix this. This is my problem. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm going to call on Harry Reid to bring cut, cap, and balance to me, and I'm going to sign it into law. If the President would have done that, S&P would have made a different choice. A month ago, we met with S&P. I was one of the authors of Cut, Cap, and Balance. So we wrote that bill to avoid that. $4 trillion in cuts. Statutory caps that eventually put us on a glide path to the balanced budget. And then finally sending back to you, the American people, the opportunity to vote whether you wanted an amendment to the Constitution to balance our budget or not. We wanted the American people to weigh in. They did not want to hear from you. We did. And we're going to work hard as we can to give you that opportunity. If you vote yes or you vote no, if the states ratify or don't, at least the American people have a chance to have some say. And that's what needs to happen here. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you all coming. And hang in and keep up the fight. Thank you.
The congressman's right. They can't make up their minds about the Tea Party movement. At first they said that we were grassroots, fake grassroots. What was it? AstroTurf. That's right. There's no power to it. There's really nobody behind it. You're just a lot of paid people that show up. Who here got paid to show up? Nobody. Oh, maybe the union people. There's only 4 of them back there. Don't worry. But they say we had no power, and then they turn around and say, we're so powerful, we created the entire economy to crater and cause a downgrade because of the power of the Tea Party. Now, which is it? Now they're calling us terrorists. And these are from people who don't even call people who blow things up terrorists. I mean, they have no clue. So power. We don't have that kind of power like the unions do. Unions have the power to reach into your pocket if you work for the state and confiscate some of your paycheck and take money for their political causes out of your pay if you're in a union. We don't have that power. We depend on voluntary contributions. I personally am a volunteer. I work. I have a job. I'm on vacation when I do this kind of thing. I work for Hillsdale College. Has anybody ever heard of Hillsdale College? It's a great place. And we're going to have a course on the Constitution later this fall that you can all take over the internet. It's going to be fabulous. But, I'm on vacation when I do this kind of thing, and because I believe in the cause. I hope that you do too. If you do, Alexandra's going to walk around with this donation bucket, and if you can support us and help us put some fuel in the bus and help us on our way, we'd appreciate anything that you can do, recognizing that you have to belong to the movement. You have to believe in the cause if you're going to give money to it. It's not that we have any power to confiscate it. So Alexandra is going to be coming through the crowd, and any contribution you can make is welcome. Next, let's welcome back up to the stage Kay and Ron Rivoli for the Tea Party Express theme song.
Thank you, y'all. Kay and I are from Louisville, Kentucky, home of fast women and pretty horses. And we got to tell you, this is a beautiful state. We've been traveling through for the past 4 days, and we're just in awe of the beauty up here. And but we've been through Wisconsin before. As a matter of fact, I got locked up in Wisconsin. Yeah, no, I didn't go to jail. I ate too much cheese. Yeah, locked me up for about 3 days, man. It was bad.
We are so proud to be members of the core entertainment group for Tea Party Express. This organization has been a game changer on the political scene. And folks, we are proud to be with them and bring them your message. And this is what the Tea Party Express is all about.
We're the Tea Party Express, and we're rocking through your town. We're the Tea Party Express, and we are getting down with the issues, shouting them out loud. We the people, we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us now?
Well, look out, Washington, D.C., 'cause we are on a roll.
And we're rocking through this country with a message to be told.
The people, they are standing up all across this land.
And they're sending you a message that we hope you understand. We're the Tea Party Express, and we're rocking through your town. We're the Tea Party Express, and we are getting down with the issues, shouting them out loud. We the people, we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us now? Those bailouts have to stop.
That stimulus must end.
No universal health care.
No cap and trade, my friend.
Those bailouts have to stop.
That stimulus must end.
No universal health care.
No cap and trade, my friend.
Those bailouts have to stop. That stimulus must end. No universal health care. No cap and trade, my friend.
Let me hear you.
Those bailouts have to stop. That stimulus must end. No universal health care. No cap and trade, my friend.
They're spending too much money. It's gotten too extreme. We're taxed enough already. Now let me hear you scream. Can you hear us now?
We're the Tea Party Express, and we're rocking through your town. We're the Tea Party Express, and we are getting down with the issues, shouting them out loud. We the people, we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us now?
Let me see your hands.
We're the Tea Party Express, and we're rocking through your town. We're the Tea Party Express, and we are getting down with the issues, shouting them out loud. We the people, we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Aren't they fantastic? They are so much fun, and they have been with Tea Party Express on all 4.5 tours we've done. We're getting ready to kick off our 5th tour at the end of August from Napa, California, and we go across the country and end up in Tampa for the first ever Tea Party presidential debate that we're co-hosting with CNN, so we're pretty excited about that. I want to bring up somebody right now who I met about 2.5 years ago when I got involved in this movement. I'm just a mom, a former flight attendant who was sick and tired of yelling and screaming at my TV and radio, and got off my couch and did something about it. And I became acquainted with this guy through Twitter and social media. And he is actually the one that was the brains behind TaxDayTeaParty.com. And so he's one of the original founders of the Tea Party movement. And now he is with Patriot Action Network, who is one of our coalition partners, and they're doing great things. Mr. Eric Odom.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. It's great to be up here in Wisconsin. I'm from the great conservative, tax-friendly, business-friendly state and city of Chicago, Illinois. That was the best boo so far. It's good to be up here. It's good to be in this type of atmosphere because I'm used to the Chicago type of atmosphere in rallies, and they're the opposite. There's 6 Tea Partiers in the back and 6,000 unions up front. But in this environment, it's great because you got guys like the gentleman over here with the flag wearing a gun on his hip. It reminds me of a situation that happened yesterday morning in Milwaukee. I like to be early out to the bus. I like to be early at the airport. Try to be early everywhere I go. So I was the first to check out yesterday morning at the hotel. And as the lady was pulling up my information, she said, "So where are you from?" I said, "Chicago." She goes, "Oh, well, welcome to Milwaukee. Hopefully you enjoyed your stay." I said, "Yeah, I did." And while she was pulling this up, it was raining, and I was trying to find the quickest path to the bus. So I said, "Have you seen the Tea Party bus?" And I was hoping that she had seen it when she came to work that morning, right, to tell me where it was. But she took it as, "Have you seen the Tea Party bus?" She goes, "Yeah, they stayed here last night." I go, "Oh, okay." And she said, "You might want to be careful. We think they have guns." Yeah, I didn't say anything after that. Yeah, I do feel safe. In fact, I stood very close to the gentleman over here. Should stuff go down, that's where I want to be. But no, it's seriously, it's so great to be up here, and I think you guys owe yourself a big round of applause for setting an example for the rest of the country and getting Scott Walker and this legislature elected last year. Because, as it's been said a couple times, the nation's eyes are on you guys down south in Illinois, where we thought we had a lost cause. Well, actually, it's still pretty close to that. We're $13 billion in a hole. You've shown through your election of Governor Walker and support of him in this legislature that it can be fixed. These problems can be solved with true, authentic leadership in place. $3.5 billion is now balanced out. In the 3 years previous to Walker taking over, 150,000 jobs have been lost. Since Walker took over, 40,000 new jobs are back in Wisconsin, private sector jobs. In the month of June alone. And this is great for contrast. This is great for contrast to understand the 2 possible outcomes after this election tomorrow and next week here in Wisconsin. To give you some contrast, here in Wisconsin, you picked up 9,500 jobs in the month of June. Illinois lost 7,200 jobs in the month of June. The policy that's currently in Illinois, with $13 billion in debt, losing jobs every month, bleeding businesses and people to Wisconsin. I've met almost as many Chicagoans up here as I've met as folks from Wisconsin. That's the contrast on the other side of it. That's the direction you're going to go. That's the direction they want to take it. But here in Wisconsin, under the leadership of Walker in this legislature, things are looking up. And those of us in states like Illinois are looking at this thinking, there is hope, and there is something worth fighting for. So thank you for that. Thank you for showing us there's hope, and it's just so important that we keep that going. One final point I would make is that Amy Kramer mentioned our involvement with TaxDayTeaParty.com. There's about 10 a row here. So if you take the first 3 rows here in this audience, on February 21st, Rick Santelli made his original infamous rant calling for a Chicago Tea Party in 2009. On February 27th, 30 people had taken time out of their lives, mothers, mailmen, just regular folks, and coordinated through a little wiki and a little website in 7 days with no pay, 32 Tea Party rallies for February 27th that 40,000 people came out to. Didn't know how to write a press release. Didn't know how to contact the media. We didn't know we had to have a permit. You have to have a permit to say you're upset with government. You have to ask government for permission to say you're upset with government. We didn't know this. And then that same group of people on February 28th, we launched TaxDayTeaParty.com, and 6 weeks later, 1 million folks came out in 835 cities across the nation, and that was historic. And it was because of this right here. So, got a lot of work to do. election tomorrow. There's still this evening, tomorrow, and then tomorrow, obviously, there's, I think, about roughly 300 right here in this lot. If all 300 of you can go and convince 4 more people to go with you tomorrow, that's 1,500 votes. And elections are won and lost. Sometimes 2 votes, sometimes 300, sometimes 400. But that 1,500 votes is powerful, very powerful. So when you leave this lot, do not think, I hope someone else goes and finds that other 4. Every single one of us do it. I guarantee you the second this bus moves 1 foot, this becomes a war room. It seems, to some they think it's fun and games. It's not. It's a full-scale war room. We're getting people to hit the phones. We're doing email campaigns, press releases, social media, and it'll be going all through tomorrow and next week. So I just challenge all of you. Look at states like Illinois, and that's what's going to happen if we don't win this. That's the contrast. And also for us, thank you so much for giving us something to fight for and believe in. And thanks for having us. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, Eric. We really appreciate Patriot Action Network partnering with us on this. We appreciate all of our coalition sponsors, and that's Freedom Works and Tea Party Nation, and one important coalition partner, Campaign to Defeat Barack Obama. They've actually worked very hard with us and helped us put this trip together and realize the importance of Wisconsin and being up here and supporting you guys. And now I want to bring up the executive director of the Campaign to Defeat Barack Obama, Joe Wiersbicki.
Hello, Green Bay! Thank you so much for coming out tonight for so many reasons. I mean, specifically so that we can make sure that a good man who did his job and who took the tough hits, Robert Coles, gets reelected, and that we don't allow the intimidation tactics of the left to put our country on the wrong path and to put Wisconsin on the wrong path. There are so few politicians in America that have the courage to do what Scott Walker did and to do what those state legislators did. And they deserve our appreciation, our votes, our support. They are the best hope for our future. And we all know it's our responsibility to pass on freedom to the next generation. And that's how we got to be a free nation, is because brave men and women who served this country in battle, or who were great statesmen, who laid it on the line so that we can be free. And so we're fighting for freedom and liberty. You know, it's so interesting to look, to juxtapose what's going on in Wisconsin and what's happening nationally, because there couldn't be a starker contrast. Here you have Scott Walker, who brings fiscal responsibility, fiscal sanity to the state, and says we must pay our bills. It is immoral for us not to do so. We must pay back the money that we owe to Minnesota that was taken from them before. We must go ahead and make sure that we have money for our schools and our police and our firefighters and our roads. We must make sure that taxes don't get increased. We must make sure that American families here in Wisconsin have the right to raise their families as they see fit, to earn a living and have the government come and confiscate it, to have the right to school choice so that they can send their kids to get the best education possible. That's a pretty impressive record and agenda, and he's a proud, brave man for standing behind it. Now compare that to what's happening in Washington with President Obama, whose vision for America is that the people are to blame, that we're constantly attacked and insulted and derided for standing up for the principles that this country is founded on, that are outlined in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. This guy's got right and wrong turned upside down, and it's ridiculous. $14.3 trillion in debt, over 9% in the unemployment rate, a plunging stock market, skyrocketing gas prices. And this man just goes and blames everyone but himself. We don't want your European-style socialism. We're the United States of America. We want liberty. We want liberty and freedom. We want the right of the individual to make their own decisions. That's not too much to ask. Okay? We don't want to be saddled and saddle our children and our grandchildren's generations with debt and with dependency to countries like China. We don't want to be embarrassed and be mocked and get our credit rating downgraded for the first time in our history. I mean, this man is a joke. But you know what? We can go ahead and win in 2012 by using Wisconsin as an example. Look what you people have done. Look at the people you voted into office. And for one of the few times in American history, they did it right by the people. So I'm going to wrap up here by just going over what we've done here in the state. We've spent a couple $100,000 on advertising. We've worked with the Tea Party Express to bring this bus throughout the state. Because what we're trying to do is get as many people turned out to the polls as possible. Because we got like $14 million that we have to compete with from the left that's been pumped in here from out of state. Because they don't want the people of Wisconsin to decide for themselves. They want to go ahead and turn Wisconsin into what Barack Obama's trying to turn the nation into. But we're not going to let them do it. So we're going to turn out. We're going to go to the polls. We're going to bring every last person we can. You just spend that day. If you have to shuttle people back and forth, if you have to cajole your neighbors and friends, because do you realize how important it is? If we can show them here it doesn't work, then the rest of the nation can be inspired to do the same thing. So on a final note, as Eric explained, it's a war room in here. We have 20 people with laptops and cell phones and printers and scanners, copiers, and we're going to go ahead and send this message out to the nation. We've been doing it constantly. Our people hate us because we email them all the time. But it's important. We're fighting for freedom, friends. So I want everyone on the count of 3 to wave your arms and say freedom, because we're going to send this picture out to the rest of the nation so they can see the proud patriots here and what all you are doing. All right? So 1, 2, 3. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, everybody. Get out and vote on Tuesday. And in 2012, let's celebrate the election of a Republican president.
Great job. Joe is Becky. Campaign to defeat Barack Obama. He's terrific. So is our musical couple. They're a married couple. They volunteered to do this. You may have heard them on the Huckabee Show. You may have seen their YouTube sensation. Press 1 for English. It's the Rivoli Review.
Folks, they've discovered a new fault line in Washington, D.C. Runs right through the city. It's called Bush's fault. Everything he says is his problem. He says he inherited from Bush. You know what else he inherited? A AAA plus rating for our country.
Wait a minute. In all fairness now, not all of his programs have been a bust. Now, in Kentucky, I know the Cash for Clunkers program was a complete success. Really, we got rid of about 70% of the Obama bumper stickers with that program.
We're going to dedicate this one to Joe. Folks, we're going to need a little help on this one. You're going to hear a part in this song that we're going to need a few bach, bach, bachs. You got that? A simple bach, bach, bach.
You'll know
All
where.
right, because we can't go Barack. Hit it, Jason. Well, the car I drive's an Obama. My bank's an Obama, too. I'm sitting in my Baracker, just watching this change in view. It's insane how things are going, all because of just one man. Why, he's been talking in Turkey, says we're not a Christian land. We can't go Barack, bak, 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 it's too late. We're stuck with this Hussainis and his spending trillion states. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. Well, he says I ought to learn Spanish and I ought to give up my gun. I'll be living in a Hussein hospital before this man is done. Now it's an abomination what's happening across this land. If we don't stop our spending, our end is close at hand. We can't go Barack, bak, 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 it's too late. We're stuck with this Hussainis and his spending trillion states. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. Stimulus, bailouts, cap and trade have us a mess. Cash for clunkers, Pelosi's jet. We have to start spending less. We stop spending money or our dollar will deflate. And where do we file bankruptcy for the whole United States? You can't go Barack, it's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein and his spending trillions fake. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. We can't go Barack, it's too late. We're stuck with this Hussein and his spending trillions fake. Our children and our grandchildren, they never will forget how we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. How we sold out for a little change and left them all in debt. We can't go Barack,
That is so fun, isn't it? Laugh at the left. Laugh at the loony left. Here's a man who will help you. Where will we be without talk radio, ladies and gentlemen? A voice you are familiar with. Welcome, Jerry Bader.
Just a nice turnout or what? This is fantastic. You know, there are so many good things that have been said already. This is the curse of going late. There have been so many great things that so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to give you the non-fiction version of the liberal point of view. Want to hear it again? You know, some of you may be aware, I say it on the air, and I'm not ashamed of it, it is what it is. For much of my life, I've lived on the other side of the political spectrum. I still don't understand how, but I did. Now, we consider ourselves Big Tent and all-inclusive, right? You may be aware that this effort ran into a little problem in Kenosha. Good, hard-working small businessman was intimidated by the left, was threatened with a boycott if he allowed this event at his establishment. So they moved. That's what we're up against in Wisconsin. They cannot win in the marketplace of ideas, so they are trying to silence our side. Now we're not that way. And I will have you know, in fact, among you right now, I'm not going to point them out, there's someone from the other side. There's someone from an organization called One Wisconsin Now. And they are here recording, hoping that they'll be able to record something that will embarrass us. Are you proud of everything you've heard so far? However, One Wisconsin Now would like to go back to $3.6 billion budget holes, billions of dollars of tax increases that still created $3.6 billion budget holes. So as long as they're recording us, could you good and loud let them know what you think about that? Loud. Louder. Louder. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see him use that. You've heard all the good reasons why you need to support Rob Coles. Why, if you live in Rob's district, he needs your vote tomorrow, just as every Republican shamefully facing recall tomorrow needs the support of people who understand Wisconsin is now headed in the right direction. And I've said it, others have said it, it has to be said again. Republicans are being recalled for doing their job. Yeah. The Democrats that are being recalled for not doing theirs.
Governor Walker had a great piece yesterday, or over the week, I believe it was yesterday, in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, item by item by item, how those changes that he proposed that Republicans passed are working. Just think about this now. They took office in January. It's August 8th, and the seed really hasn't even had a chance to grow yet. And you're already seeing school district after school district after school district reaping the benefit. Here's the part, and I get accused of teacher bashing. I have in-laws that are teachers. I have friends that are teachers. There are great teachers. We all know that. We know that. They are complaining of the hardship they are facing because how much they now have to contribute to their pension and their health care. How many of you would be happy with that hardship? Ah! That's called not living in the real world, and you're hearing this at the national level, you're hearing it here in Wisconsin. Not sustainable. Nobody ever wants to lose something they have, and we all understand that. But we now have a governor and a legislature that understand it is simply not sustainable. Tomorrow, and you've heard others say this, the whole nation is watching what happens in Wisconsin. Are we going to allow Rob Coles and other Republicans to be punished for doing the right thing, or are we going to reward them? It will be an absolutely chilling message if Scott Walker and the Republicans who passed his initiatives are punished for doing the right thing. You can stop that. If you are able to vote for Rob Coles, for crying out loud, do that. And as others said, bring 2, 3, do whatever you can. My daughter turned 18 on July 29th. What a great opportunity. She get her first vote. How many of us have had the opportunity for their first vote to be that important? She still hasn't registered. Boy, am I... Oh, I can register at the polls, Dad. What are you waiting for? Every vote counts. And it is absolutely so true. You know, there are people here, you know, it's such a great crowd because you understand what is at stake. We have to win the day tomorrow. Now, I got to tell you what. I received an email from a friend, and I cannot say that person's name. It is a name in this area you would know, and he would be really upset with me. But he and I are going out for a beer later this week, and we made our predictions on what's going to happen tomorrow. I won't go, and I'll tell you, this is a good conservative. I will tell you that. And I went race by race why I believe Republicans are going to hang on to the Senate. He went race by race on why we're going to lose the Senate. I can't wait until Wednesday morning to tell him how wrong he is. But it is... And by the way, the beauty is he'll be happy in defeat to buy the beer, and I'll be happy to drink it. So, but all of this is up to you. And you're here today because you care. Again, if you can get out and vote for Rob Coles tomorrow, for crying out loud, do that. Wisconsin is headed in the right direction. You are the engine that's driving that bus. And let's keep it going in the right direction. Great job, Jerry. You know, the left needs to record conservatives hoping to catch them in something as if we do things in secret. Is this being done in secret? Is this a smoke-filled room? You know, they could save their film, they could save their video, whatever it is they've got. We actually broadcast this. The Tea Party Review is over here, broadcasting it to the internet live. Everybody say hi to the World Wide Web over here. So they could have just saved themselves a lot of trouble and gone to our site and seen it themselves, because we don't have anything to hide. In a previous life, I was a California State Assemblyman, and I know how tough a job that can be. You have some very hard-working, good guys in Madison representing Northeast Wisconsin, and we have two of them here, Representative Winiger and Representative Jacques. Come on up, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. First of all, let's give another round of applause to Jerry Bader. It's great to have a conservative voice on the radio airwaves. So thank you all so much. And let's thank these folks over here in the corner who put this event together to get everyone rallied up. This is great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Amy. Entertainment's perfect and great. Rob Coles, unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He actually said me and Andre in his place. Jim Sonny couldn't make it because of, unfortunately, a family emergency. His little daughter broke his ankle, or broke her ankle. But on the good note, though, is Rob's in Shawano. He's shoring up the votes that we need to win, or he needs to win, to carry the Senate. And I'll tell you what, I've been on the campaign trail with Rob for the last 2 months, and he is in good spirits. Everywhere he goes, people are pulling him aside quietly and saying, you have my voice, yeah, I have your back, we'll get people out to vote. And the reason why they're doing that is because the folks in the back, they're worried because of the tension. And what we need to do is actually not so much just have you turn out, but get to your neighbors. Get to everyone you know. Make sure you turn them out, because at the end of the day, this is about a base-on-base race. This is about the future of America and the future of Wisconsin. We need to make sure that we get everyone to the poll, because that's what's really at stake. It's two roads. It's about prosperity and living the American dream, or it's about socialism. What road do you want to go down? Freedom? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to talk a few more minutes, but I'm going to introduce my very good friend and colleague down in Madison, who went through the same stuff that all Assembly people did. We were unfortunately heckled, spit at during the collective bargaining debate, but we made it through unscathed. But I would like to introduce Andre, the Rhino Slayer, Jacques.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You know, we don't need anybody else here because we got you here. You fired up? All right, let's hear it. Woo! All right, now, you know, I got to say, you know, I'm so pleased to be here for my friend Rob Coles. I've known Rob for a long time, even though I've only been in the Assembly for a short while. And I'll tell you that Rob Coles was Tea Party before Tea Party was cool. When Nancy Nussbaum was serving up the Kool-Aid and doling out the pork barrel and the loaded contracts and everything else, you know, Rob Coles was the guy that you would see on the TV, and he was railing against the structural deficit, which we have finally solved. He's the guy that voted against budgets that Republicans proposed, that Democrats proposed when they expanded the scope of government. And that's what we need. That's what the Tea Party movement is all about, is finally getting a handle. It's making the wise choices for the future. And you know what? Rob Coles has been a champion. He's been a budget hawk. He's the kind of guy that we need to keep in there. We need to send the message that we need to keep Rob Coles. And I'll tell you, we can do this. We can add, you know, if we don't treat this race as the difference as to whether or not we keep control of the state Senate and can have the chance to continue some of the reforms that we've had, then I guarantee you the other side is going to be able to claim this as the difference that lets them put a block to everything that we've been trying to do. And believe me, there's a lot more work that we need to do. But this is the first step. And I'll tell you, you know, we went through quite a lot earlier this year. You know, I was in my office when people were trying to break in through the window. You know, when Jesse Jackson was singing outside of it, I knew there was something kind of strange going on. And, you know, but it's something that we're happy to do because we know it's important. You know, we're making the same sacrifices in terms of cutting our pension benefits, our health care contributions are increasing just like everybody else. And you know what? We need to be in the same boat. It's the sort of thing that we weren't making that shared sacrifice for too long. So we're happy to be doing that. Rob's happy to be doing that. And I know that he'd tell you the same thing if he were here right now. Now, I just can't tell you. My mom has come to events for a long time. She's a great woman. She maybe did a few phone calls and things for me when I was running. I will tell you, she has made far more phone calls for Rob Coles than she ever made for me. And she's going to be working 2 shifts, watching at the polls tomorrow to make sure that everything goes right, to make sure that we are getting out all of our support for Rob Coles. So I just got to say, if each of us can call tonight, can call tomorrow, can absolutely just keep bugging our friends, 5, 10, 20 of them, we're more than going to make the difference in a close race. And you better believe that, Chad and I were out there today and we saw folks, the people from out of state, because you see the out of state license plates or the bumper stickers, they get out of the car, they got their canvassing boards. They see the importance of this race, and I know we do too, because you're all here, and we're going to make this happen. So I just got to say thank you all for coming out here. Thank you for your support of us, for Rob, and thank you. God bless everyone.
So just one quick thing before we go. So this is what you can do. Make sure you get your friends to the polls. Tonight they're still doing calling bake. Jason Mugliani's in the back. He has Rob Cole's yard sign. Stop at the campaign. They're also doing street corners tomorrow at major intersections. So talk to John Vanderleest about that. And there's a lot of folks doing canvassing from the other side. They're paid, so we need to get just our folks out there. So do everything that you can do. We can't give up, because everything that we've done will be for naught if we lose Rob Coles.
Pick up your phones. Jerry's going to give us his daughter's cell phone number so we can all call her before tomorrow, make sure that she gets out there. But thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for standing strong. We support you. So what are you guys going to do tomorrow? What? That's what I thought. Okay. This is our very last stop in the state today, and we've had a fantastic time over the past 4 days. It's been absolutely incredible. You have an absolutely gorgeous state, and we are proud to be here with you. And thank you for having us. Thank you for your hospitality. I'm going to turn it back over to Howard in just a minute, and we're going to wrap it up with a beautiful song from the Rivolis. But before I do, I want to recognize some of our coalition partners who have gone across the state with us and helped us spread the word on through social media and on the internet. And those people are Tabitha Hale right over here with Freedom Works. Tabitha, she's been taking beautiful pictures, so you need to visit Freedom Works site and check out the pictures and her blogs. Andrea Shea King, our radio patriot. She's on Blog Talk Radio from the Space Coast in Florida. Every Monday through Friday, she's fantastic. And then Judson Phillips, the founder of Tea Party Nation. They've all been great coalition partners, and we have been blessed to work with them, and we thank you for being here and being with us. And before I jump down, I want to recognize the Green Bay Tea Party leader, New Liberty Alliance, Michelle Jackat. I hope I didn't butcher it right. Yvonne Brown. So if any of you are not involved in the local Tea Party, right up here, you can get more information. They have meetings. They're encouraging people to get out to vote, and you really need to get connected with them. Thank you all.
Amy, look out way past all of our supporters, way out. What do you see?
Nothing!
All the 6 protesters left. I guess they only get paid for so long.
You know, we invite them to come in and stay because they actually might learn something. There was a guy at our first rally, and he had a sign that said, "Collective bargaining is the American way." I don't know about you, but I don't ever remember reading anything about collective bargaining in the U.S. Constitution. They need to come, and they might get a true education.
That's absolutely right. And the Tea Party stands for something very simple. The Tea Party Express stands for the idea that you cannot spend more and you cannot spend your way out of a deficit and you cannot borrow your way out of a debt. It's really just that simple. We're going to take that message all across the country August 27th through September 12th. And then on September 12th, there's going to be a presidential debate over these Tea Party issues hosted by CNN in Tampa. that we're co-hosting with CNN. So I hope you all tune into that. Now, we're going to wrap it up, but before we do, we have one more thank you. These are the unsung heroes. But at the first rally at Hudson, those 50 protesters that we had from the unions, they wanted to shout and they wanted to yell until we could not be heard. So we had our sound guys bring concert quality sound system and had them turn up the volume. Every time they got loud, we got much louder. And if they would settle down and be nice, it happened, we would turn it down to a nice volume. And if they would get rowdy and loud again, our guys turned it up again. And they have been the greatest sound team ever. Give it up for our sound team over here. They are really fantastic guys. We could not have done this tour without these two brothers. How many veterans do we have in the audience today? Raise your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people that gave us our freedom. Thank you all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your service, for the service of your families. Thank you all. This next song by the Rivolis is a tribute to you and to all who have served in the United States military. And then we'll be done.
I saw a sign out here that said, teachers in support of Walker. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to tell you real quick about a bumper sticker I've got on my van that says, if you can read this bumper sticker, thank a teacher. If you can read it in English, thank a veteran.
Folks, if you're out in the audience right now, will you please, and you're holding an American flag, will you please come up on stage with us right now? If you have our beautiful glory out there, will you bring it up on stage? Come on, don't hesitate, folks. Let's move. Bring that flag on up here. You should be proud. You brought it with you. Bring it on up here and show it off. Folks, do you know what happened in August of 1920, just a mere 91 years ago? Only 91 years ago, women were given the right to vote. His daughter needs to go register, ladies, because we can make the difference. Tell your daughters, they don't teach it in school anymore, that people were tortured for women's rights to vote, and they need to register and go vote. Ladies and gentlemen, this flag does not wave because of the breeze that blows by it. This flag waves from the last breath of every man and woman who gave their life defending it. You see, I saw a flag pass by one day, and it fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I watched him in the crowd that day, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought of all the men like him who had fallen through the years, of how many had died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves, for freedom is not free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still, and as the bugler played it, I felt a sudden chill. You see, I wondered just how many times those taps had meant amen, as a flag had draped the coffin of a father, brother, friend. I thought of all the children, all the mothers and the wives, all the husbands, sons, and daughters with interrupted lives. And then I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, and of an unmarked grave in Arlington, for freedom is not free.
If you wake up in the morning in a land where you are free, you should think about the ones who fought protecting liberty. You should fly a flag in honor of the price they had to pay. Yes, every day throughout this land should be Memorial Day.
Some gave all, they paid the price for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free.
If you watch your children playing in a land where freedom reigns, in a land of purple majesty above the fruited plains, you should tell them of the soldiers who had courage and were brave, who fought in wars and battles to ensure Old Glory waves.
For some gave all, they paid the price for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free.
They stood with pride and honor and fought with dignity to protect the ones who couldn't fight, and a land that we call free.
We should honor fallen heroes by flying our flags high, to salute the men and women who have fought and who have died.
But some gave all, they paid the price
for freedom's here. They sacrificed, they gave their lives for you and me. Their graves remind us freedom's not free. Their graves remind us freedom's not free. Thank you, Nick. That's you in it, man. God bless you and God bless America.
And the rain stayed away.
That's a good song.
Were you watching the dark clouds? Did you see them seagulls going over? Yeah, that wouldn't have been very nice.
Well, I've had it happen before.
You dropped right on there?
No, I've had it happen where it rains, it starts to sprinkle.
Oh, yeah, but I
Cover
mean,
up quick.
I was looking at seagull. You poop on there.
Oh, no, we don't want that. Then it's no one's got to
You know what?
What's that?
Start knocking it down in place.
I'm going to take a quick little smoke break.